Alright, what's up everybody? So welcome back to my channel. In today's video is going to be the first episode of Final Cut Pro. My plan is to produce 5 different episodes focusing on different areas in the face of Final Cut Pro. And I'm sure that after 5 different episodes you will be able to edit your own projects. Because I'm going to put my knowledge and experience into those 5 different episodes. I'm gonna make it quick and easy to understand and easy to follow. Okay, so let's get started on our first episode of Final Cut Pro. Okay, so welcome to the first episode of the Final Cut Pro. So in this first episode, what I'm going to focus on is the interface and the overview. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the overall look of the Final Cut Pro when you open it for the first time. But after this episode, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to create a new project. But in this episode, what I'm going to do is just to tell you guys what are the different areas used for. Okay, so get started. So this area is called sidebar. So in sidebar you can see there are 3 different buttons here or small icons. So the first one is called library, and the next icon is a place where you can access your photos, audio, and especially the already existing sound effects on this Final Cut Pro. As you can see, there are different folders of the sound effect. So like animals, you have different animals. Next icon is a place where you can apply the titles and the generator. So there are 2 different main sections here. If I close it, you can see there are 2 different main sections. You have titles and generators. If I drag the title down, you can see I have got a lot of different titles which I can use for my project. But for you guys, if you have never installed anything, you have like basic titles. For example, like built-in and built-out, you can have this effect, okay, ready built-in in your Final Cut Pro for you to use. But these built-in and built-out are very basic and simple, so I normally install other stuff. So don't worry, in the next series I'm going to show you guys exactly how we can install more titles for your Final Cut Pro. These are the generator, like background. You add background to your project, your video. You have different background here. So we're going to touch more on these sidebar parts in the next episode. The next thing that I would like to show you guys is this. This part is called browser. So browser is where you can skim and select clips, effect that you want to apply on your project, on your video. For example, if I choose titles and then I have different like Christmas, and then I just do like this. I've just hover my mouse on any titles that I want, and you can see on the screen here, this is the preview. There you can see this is how the text appear on the project, on your video. Same thing happens if you go and select media and then you drag the video onto the project, and you kind of have this ability to preview the video before dragging it into your timeline. Well, the next thing that I want to tell you guys is what we call the viewer. On the browser, you can see it in a big picture in the black field, and this black field is called viewer. So viewer is like a TV screen where you can see everything that you are working on. For example, this is my project. So as you can see, I can scroll backward and forward to see what's going on, what's the problem of my project, and that is called viewer. So it helps you to see adjust my titles here. The next thing that I want to talk about is what we call magnetic timelines. This is what we call magnetic timelines. Why magnetic? By the name it suggests, is pretty simple. I'm not quite sure if you have ever edited any video on the Adobe Premiere. So honestly speaking, I'm not a big fan of Adobe Premiere because it's quite complicated. It takes longer time to adjust and to rearrange the video or the clips between one clip to another on the timelines. However, with these magnetic timelines, it's pretty simple. I don't like this part. I just select it and I delete. And you can see the next clip. As you can see, this clip move very quickly. Yes, to the very end. Okay, next to the other clip, which does not happen in the Adobe Premiere. In Adobe Premiere, if you delete that clip, you will see that the space, something like that. And then your job is to drag the clip and move it by yourself. But this one is automatically moved next to the clip itself, which is one of the biggest positive point I love about Final Cut Pro. The next thing that I would like to talk about is the timelines bar. So as you can see, this is the bar and you can see the indexed. We will talk more in depth about these kind of features. We have indexed, we have 4 different little icons here. We have the tools, which I also would like to keep it as the next episode as well, because there are many things to talk about and to learn as well. And this is the hidden, I'm not quite sure if it is the hidden button or whatever, but when I first started using the Final Cut Pro, I'm not quite sure what is this little button is all about. But a year later, probably about a year or 2 years later, I kind of found out what and why it's here, okay, and what we use it for. Yeah, I also talk about it as well. Yeah, this is back and forward. Move to the other end of the timelines bar. This is where you can adjust your magnetic timelines. For example, yeah, you can see, because sometimes you want to edit like only this part because you don't like it, it's too slow, it's too fast, so you want to cut it out or split it and put something in the middle right in this minute. Yeah, you can do that, okay. However, this is because I'm working on the iMac, so it's really hard because I don't use a trackpad to scroll. If you use MacBook Pro or the MacBook, you have the capability to use your finger instead of manually coming to this section and do that, okay. We will talk more in the next episode as well. Down here is where you want to make in your timeline smaller or bigger. It depends on the screen size you have, because right now I'm recording this video and I'm working on this project on the iMac, so I think the screen is big enough for me to enlarge the size of each clips in the timelines, because it's easy for me to see the clips as well as the titles, okay, and it's easy to adjust and edit as well. Let's move on to the next 2 icons. The first icon here represent effects. So as you can see, for the effects we have all audio and video. So there are 2 different functions or sections here. One is for video and the other one is for audio. So all here mean for all videos. So basically, as the name suggests, the effect is something that you can use to apply on your video. And the next part is called transitions. So transition is pretty simple to understand. It's like you are working on your project on the PowerPoint slide, so you want to have transition from one slide to another, so you apply the transition. So in order to have a smooth transitions or style, you need all of this to help you. For example, you can see the preview video on the viewer. Yeah, this is one clip from one clip to another. It means, for example, this is the clip that I'm sitting and talking, and then if I apply this clip to the video, the second clip will come out like this. It's pretty simple to understand. And again, we'll talk more, okay, in depth of all of these transitions, animations in the next episode. Last but not least that I want to focus on is the inspector. This part is called inspector, where you can play around with like transformation, crops, stabilization, rolling shutter. So you have all of these features. Play around with the color of your videos. Like you don't want it to be blue, you don't want it to be too red, or you don't want it to be too much saturated. So you can adjust it here, or you can even play around with exposure. So this part will be in the next episode as well. The audio, we will talk more about audio. We will talk more about this, the project information. Okay, so I think the episode 1 should be all, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And this episode is highly recommended for the beginner. Okay, so if you have any questions or suggestions about the Final Cut Pro, please let me know in the comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click on subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next episodes. Thanks.